makes me think about how our bodies, we're often sent messages by society of like, you know, we leave work at work, leave home stuff at home, you know, kind of compartmentalize our lives such that it's almost a suggestion that when you face stress and toxicity in one area of life, don't let that, you know, bother you or affect your performance in another area. And in reality, we are one vessel. And if you can imagine a tank, for example, and it has multiple tubes, and one tube is home life, and the other tube is professional life, and the other one is society, and the other one is whatever. If you're getting something toxic from one area, it's going to affect you at some capacity in the bodily level, right? And what are some ways that when we are engaged in the work, when we are engaged in moving closer to being that child, being the authentic source of who we are, and we still get that toxicity come our way, how do you sustain yourself? What do you do to kind of work through that and face fears and to, you know, take on challenges, or to take time for yourself to retreat when needed? How do you go about that?
So I love that image of, you know, the tubes and everything's gonna, it feels honestly illogical to me that we have the perception that the same Tanya that exists in a home life doesn't exist at work. It just is, it feels illogical. And I just want to invite folks to first hold that for a second. Hold the, I get that folks feel like, Tanya, there's no way I could show up as my full self. And that's not about you. That's about the fact that you work in a workspace that is framed and situated and committed to upholding oppression and white supremacy. And so know that like what you're trying to do, actually, it feels bad because it's not natural. I don't like I may put on different clothing, but I don't even have to do that. I could tell a whole story about like, I started training people in jeans because I'm like, right, I want to be comfortable while I train you on these topics. My worth and my ability to know what I'm talking about around these issues does not change if I have on jeans. So it was my own little challenge to classism, but also it was my own little challenge to like, see what we're doing, all of the stuff we've learned, and it doesn't make much sense. Okay, now I'm going to get to your question about sustaining self. Are you asking specifically to me how I do it, or how I would recommend to others?
I think both. I think both would be good.
Okay, I'll start with me. I believe, well, and I'll say this super clear, I am a huge Prince fan, but also I love music. And so I go towards the things that bring me joy. I'll use as an example. There is no moment that I can't put on a Prince song and it will shift my energy. It'll remind me what my loves are, what is larger than me. I take care of myself. I have a whole foods, plant-based diet that I keep because I believe it has helped me have a clearer mind, and a body that feels better. Even to the point so I was vegetarian for a number of years, vegan for the last 7. And I have to say, vegan is different from a whole foods, plant-based vegan diet. And I've gone to Whole Foods only in the last month, and even that has transformed my way of feeling in my body, so I can be more alert and present to people, and with intention. I stay away from news. Like, I read my news. I decide when I want to take it in. I'm learning. Social media has very little for me, outside of checking in with a good friend. I'm trying to keep a clear mind, and the world, I know that oppression gets in through all of these little ways that we consider natural parts of our lives, like eating, taking in news, taking care of our bodies, and so I'm counteracting oppression in those ways as well, in addition to thinking and seeing the ways in which oppression acts itself out. For folks, I don't know that everybody, I don't think you have to give up social media, but you have to bring presence to it. I don't think you have to give up the news, but you can't have it on all day long. I don't think that you have to eat a vegan diet, but you can be thoughtful about what you put in your body, because we are one whole. My mind works better and stronger and clearer because of what I put in my body. And so, I think about, you do those things, you're going to show up differently in your life. And therefore then have a clear interaction with colleagues, have a clear interaction with employees. You're going to really be able to have more energy to consider, how is oppression playing out right now? Those are just some little ways that come to mind for me.
The Culture Stew podcast is a product of MSM Global Consulting and produced by Shelby Rowe Productions. Please give us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform so other people can find us. There are many ways to connect and keep the conversation going with us. Check out our website at www.msmglobalconsulting.com. You can also share your thoughts with us directly by emailing info@msmglobalconsulting.com and putting Culture Stew in the headline. Follow us on Instagram at MSM_global, Facebook at MSM Global Consulting, Twitter at Global MSM, and LinkedIn at MSM Global Consulting. Let's keep the conversation going.